Let's get right into it. Number 15. The polar abyss beneath Antarctica. Imagine standing on the iciest continent on Earth, staring at a frozen landscape so empty it makes your social battery look full. Now imagine that beneath your feet, under miles of solid ice, there are mountains, valleys, canyons, and entire hidden basins no human has ever touched, or even seen directly. Antarctica isn't just frozen, it's hiding a whole secret world under the ice sheet like the world's coldest surprise basement. Some of these subglacial canyons are deeper than the Grand Canyon. Some of the buried lakes have been sealed off for millions of years, untouched by sunlight longer than your ancestors have had opposable thumbs. If you drilled down into them, which is insanely hard, you'd probably find ancient microbes giving you the side eye for interrupting their eternal nap. Antarctica isn't just unvisited, it's actively unvisitable. Your body would shut down faster than a Windows XP computer if you even thought about exploring it in person. Number 14. The Mariana Trench's Midnight Trenches. You've heard of the Mariana Trench, deepest place on Earth, plenty creepy, total oceanic nightmare zone. But here's the twist. Even though humans have technically visited the general trench, there are side trenches, narrow cracks, and pressure-crushed valleys branching off from it that no person or sub has ever reached. The pressure down there is so intense it could crush a car into a metal pancake. The water is so cold it makes your bones ache just thinking about it. The darkness is so absolute that even light says, "Yeah, I'm not going down there." And the creatures? We don't know. Could be glowing worms, could be translucent sea monsters, could be fish that look like expired Pokemon. Whatever is down there has lived its whole life without even imagining humans exist, which honestly sounds peaceful. Number 13. The Greenland Ice Core Labyrinth. Greenland's ice sheet looks like a giant, endless, boring block of frozen nothing, but deep inside it are twisting ice caves, pressure-carved tunnels, and ancient pockets of air older than human civilization. Nobody's visited them because they're impossible to reach without ice melting, ice collapsing, you falling, or all three happening at once. Some of these caves shift constantly, like the ice version of a haunted house, and some are so deep that no drilling equipment can reach them before the hole freezes shut again. Inside those untouched chambers are perfectly preserved snapshots of Earth's ancient atmosphere, frozen bacteria, and maybe even old volcanic ash that predates recorded history. It's beautiful, in a you-will-never-see-it-because nature said no kind of way. Number 12. The ocean floor under hydrothermal fields. Think about underwater volcanoes spewing boiling, metal-rich water into the ocean, while weird tube worms and alien-like crabs just vibe there like it's no big deal. Now think deeper. Under those volcanic chimneys, beneath the crust, inside the rock itself, are cracks and chambers where microbial life thrives in total isolation. These little pockets of life have never been touched by sunlight, oxygen, or definitely humans. In fact, scientists call it the deep biosphere, which is a fancy way of saying the Earth has a secret basement full of living things. No human could ever reach these spots. The heat would cook you, the pressure would flatten you, and the nearest safety exit is several miles straight up. Basically, these places are evolution's secret kitchen, and we are not invited. Number 11. The hidden caves of Mount Everest. People climb Everest. People die on Everest. People brag about touching Everest like it's the world's coldest flex. But no one has ever explored the labyrinth of caves hidden inside the mountain itself. High-altitude ice caves form where glaciers press against rock, creating hollow pockets shaped by wind, pressure, and frozen meltwater. These caves shift, collapse, and reform constantly. Some are sealed beneath layers of snow thicker than houses. Some contain ancient ice older than most species alive today. And some? They're so unstable that even standing near the entrance is like walking into an avalanche's mouth. If you tried to explore them, you'd get crushed, frozen, lost, or all three in under 5 minutes. Everest isn't just tall, it's hollow in places. Like nature built a secret cave system, then immediately said, Actually, nobody goes in there, ever. Number 10. The Pit of Hell in Turkmenistan, the real one. You may have heard of the Darvaza gas crater, but here's the plot twist. That's just the tourist one. Beneath Turkmenistan's Karakum Desert are massive underground natural gas chambers, untouched cave systems, and enormous caverns filled with toxic, explosive air. No human has ever visited them because the second you open a pathway, the ground collapses, or the gas ignites. These underground chambers are pressurized, unstable, and basically nature's version of "do not enter." Scientists only detect them using seismic waves, like trying to map your neighbor's house by listening through the wall. The real gates of hell aren't fire-filled holes on the surface. They're the invisible voids below, waiting patiently for the earth above them to cave in. Sweet dreams. Number 9. The unreached Amazon sinkholes. Deep in the Amazon rainforest, there are sinkholes so massive they contain entire ecosystems. Giant cliffs disappearing into forest-filled bowls that sunlight barely touches. Some are so remote you'd need helicopters, boats, machetes, and 5 different life insurance policies just to see them. Inside these sinkholes are plants and animals isolated for thousands of years, evolving quietly like they're on their own secret season of Survivor Nature Edition. Scientists can only study them from above because the walls are too steep, too slick, and too unstable to climb. And the jungle around them? Full of venomous animals, aggressive plants, and humidity that feels like the air is trying to hug you to death. These places aren't just unvisited, they're practically guarding themselves. Number 8. The Abyss. Under the Tibetan Plateau. Beneath the roof of the world, the Tibetan Plateau hides one of the most extreme geological mysteries on Earth. A labyrinth of deep, unmapped tectonic cavities created by the Indian plate ramming into Asia like a slow-motion car crash. These underground spaces are filled with crushing pressure, violent heat, and rocks warped by immense force. Some cavities might be the size of buildings. We don't know. Humans can't go there because getting even a few miles below ground requires tech we simply don't have. And even if we could, the Earth's crust is constantly grinding, shifting, and squeezing like the planet is clenching its teeth. Whatever lies under Tibet stays under Tibet. Number 7. The Kerguelen Abyssal Plain. Far out in the southern Indian Ocean, so far that even Google Maps gets tired, lies one of the most remote, bleak stretches of seafloor on Earth. The Kerguelen Abyssal Plain is a flat, featureless desert of absolute nothingness, sitting under miles of freezing water. No light, no warmth, no life bigger than a grain of rice, and absolutely no humans. Even submarines don't bother going here. Why? Because there is nothing to see. It's like driving hours to visit a parking lot, at the bottom of the ocean, in total darkness, while being crushed by thousands of tons of pressure. The only creatures that thrive here are microbes that treat volcanic minerals like gourmet snacks. Humans have mapped it with sonar, but no eyes have ever seen it in person. Honestly, even the fish avoid this place like it owes them money. Number 6. The deepest point. Under Greenland's ice Greenland hides one of the most dramatic secrets on Earth. Buried beneath its ice sheet is a canyon system deeper than the Grand Canyon. Yes, a whole massive gorge carved long before humans existed, now trapped under nearly 2 miles of ice. No one has ever stepped inside it. No robot has made it down. All we have are radar scans showing a twisting, branching trench that could fit skyscrapers, if it weren't frozen solid for eternity. Walking there would mean instant freezing, instant crushing, and instant regret. The ice itself is constantly shifting, cracking, and grinding like the world's largest glass crusher. It's a canyon built to be admired from a very, very safe distance. Number 5. The Mantle Plumes beneath volcanoes. Ever wondered what's under a volcano? Not the magma, deeper than that. Beneath the crust are mantle plumes, gigantic rising columns of molten rock hotter than lava, older than continents, and stronger than your caffeine addiction. They rise from the Earth's mantle, forming hotspots like Hawaii and Yellowstone. No human could ever visit a mantle plume. The heat alone would vaporize you faster than a drop of water on a cast iron pan. The pressure would crush you into a smear before you even knew you died. These places have never been seen directly, not even by machines. All we have are seismic readings, like trying to understand a dragon by listening to it snore underground. Nature really said, "This is for me only." Number 4. The eternal darkness beneath Arctic pack ice. The Arctic Ocean looks calm on the surface. Cold, yes, but calm. What nobody sees is the nightmare zone under the pack ice. Vast, shifting tunnels of black water, ice ceilings, collapsing shelves, and trapped pockets of ancient seawater. No diver has been here. No sub has gone this deep under the ice sheets. If you go too far, the ice shifts and seals the exit. If you go deeper, the pressure spikes. If you go sideways, you end up in a maze of frozen tunnels with zero visibility and no landmarks. It's like being trapped under a frozen parking garage built by Mother Nature while she was in a bad mood. Only the bravest or dumbest fish swim here. Number 3. The world's deepest underwater caves. Sure, humans love exploring caves. They'll crawl through muddy tunnels, squeeze between rocks, and pretend claustrophobia is just a suggestion. But the deepest underwater caves on Earth? No human has ever touched their final floors. Places like Hranice Abyss in the Czech Republic plunge so deep that even elite divers have only reached a fraction of the descent before turning back. The pressure becomes unbearable, the darkness absolute, and one wrong move means instant disorientation. Below the deepest explored points are narrow shafts, flooded tunnels, and chambers that twist so far downward that even robotic probes malfunction. It's the closest Earth has to a nope zone, a hole in the planet that simply refuses to be conquered. Somewhere down there is the true bottom, waiting quietly, collecting lost robots like trophies. Number 2. The unreachable deep biosphere. Beneath your feet, right now, is a living world no human has ever seen. The deep biosphere is a massive zone stretching miles below the Earth's surface, filled with microbes that live on minerals, methane, and pure stubbornness. These organisms don't need light, warmth, or oxygen. They exist in crushing pressure surrounded by hot rock, and they're thriving. Humans can't visit because drilling even a few miles down is an engineering nightmare. Temperatures soar, rock pressure increases, equipment fails. Even if we could get down there, the environment is so hostile it would kill us instantly. The deep biosphere is the largest hidden ecosystem on Earth, and it does not care about human curiosity. It's like a secret society of microbes living their best subterranean lives, forever unbothered by the chaos above. Number 1. The Earth's core. Obviously, let's end with the place everyone knows exists, but nobody will ever visit. Not now, not later, not even if humans become metal cyborg space wizards. The Earth's core sits 3,000+ miles below you at temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. The pressure? Equivalent to having an entire planet sitting on your chest. Even our strongest machines melt long before reaching it. Drilling to the core is scientifically impossible with any technology humans currently understand. You'd need materials that don't exist, physics that don't cooperate, and bravery that borders on stupidity. Nobody knows exactly what the core looks like because we can't see it, touch it, or sample it. Everything we know comes from seismic waves, like trying to guess the inside of an orange by listening to it roll across a table. It is, without question, the most unvisited, unvisitable place on Earth. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.